Hi guys, I wanted to get back to you with my promised video. I'm really sorry to leave you hanging like I did with my last video, but I really had to make it to my dentist appointment and I thought I would have time to get everything in there. So just in case, the only reason you're tuning in is for my fat girl confession. I'm going to go ahead and talk about that first. And so the thing that I alluded to in my previous video was that I actually do not eat and drink at the same time. It is a habit that I developed all the way from childhood. I don't remember how old I was, but I remember at some point I realized that I really get full when I drink liquids. And so, in order to be able to eat more food, I just stopped drinking while I was eating. And it is something that I have done ever since. The only exception to that is that if I have wine, I do drink wine while I am eating. And if I have coffee, I do drink coffee with my breakfast. And then I also drink coffee when I'm having dessert. But other than that, no eating and drinking at the same time. As a matter of fact, when I go to the movie theater, I often order a large popcorn and I will bring my water bottle with me in my purse because I don't drink soda at all. And I will sit there and I will eat the entire container of popcorn, a large, or whatever size is bigger than a large. So I'll eat the whole thing by myself. And only once I'm done will I then reach for my bottle of water and start drinking some water. And I don't, guzzle it down like someone who is, dying of thirst because I just had all that salt. I might just take a few sips of the water. I mean, oftentimes when I leave the movie theater, I still have water left in that water bottle, even after eating a whole container of popcorn. And it's so weird that I can't believe that I really didn't consciously realize that I was doing it. I mean, there are periods of time when, we might be sitting in a restaurant and my friend, like the server might have to come by like 3 or 4 times and refill their iced tea or get another Diet Coke. And then the server would always look at me and he would glance at my glass and it's still full. And at that moment, I would realize, oh, I didn't drink anything. But the thing is that I never drink anything. It's like that's the way it is all of the time. Oftentimes, as soon as they put the water on the table, I would take maybe 1 sip, maybe 2 sips, and then I don't touch it again throughout the meal. And then after the meal, usually I'm too full and I'm definitely not going to drink water then. I might take another sip just to cleanse my palate or whatever, and then that's it. Now it's funny that even though I don't drink at all during my meals, I don't have any trouble getting my water in because I really do focus on that between my meals. I get my 8 to 10 8-ounce glasses of water a day consistently because I love water. And so it's pretty easy for me to get it in, now, pre-surgery. And so it's so weird that I never even realized that I did that. And so just the other day I asked one of my friends that I frequently go out to dinner with, and I said, "Did you realize that I don't eat and drink at the same time? Have you ever noticed?" And she's like, "No, I'm always paying attention to my own plate that I never ever noticed." And then she was like, "Well, why don't you do what they always tell people to do, which is to drink a full glass of water before you eat in order to cut down on what you're eating?" And I'm like, no, I can't do that because I really get so full. And maybe part of it is now that it's been, maybe 30 years since I've drank liquids while I was eating that I just get so uncomfortably full. And so if I were to do that, I would only be able to eat 1 or 2 bites of my food, and that's not enjoyable. So no, of course I'm not I'm not going to do that. Yeah, so I guess, yeah, that's my fat girl confession. I really don't. Even when I would go to fast food places and get a meal and get an iced tea with my meal, I get the iced tea, but I never drink it, which is why I usually order a small meal, because I know that I'm not going to drink the large drink that they give me. So all I usually want is the smallest drink because, yeah, I don't know. So that's my fat girl confession, that food is more important than hydration, and so I would rather eat as much food as I can and not drink anything. Okay, so the other thing that I wanted to talk about that I didn't finish talking about in my previous video was I wanted to talk more about what I'm eating and things like that. And so I talked about my macronutrients, but I also forgot to mention that I am eating between 1,200 and 1,300 calories a day. Last month that was really hard. The first month that was really hard, but just this past month it was pretty easy. I do weigh and measure everything. I'm really kind of fanatical about it. I think because, I'm a scientist, I love chemistry, I like weights and measures and charts, and then I'm also just very detail oriented. That's the way that I think. I like things to be exact. I hate the idea of guessing or estimating. I mean, how do you know? How do you know for sure that that's 2 ounces? I don't know. I don't understand that. So I have to weigh it to see what it is. Okay, the dogs are barking at birds. Sorry, I am going to pause this. Okay, sorry about that. I had to take the dogs outside, but now I completely forgot where I was or what I was saying. I think I was saying that I weigh and I measure every single thing because I'm very anal. And, I even try not to go to restaurants that don't have their nutrition facts online because I don't like trying to guess or figure out, what if I'm this particular salad that I'm eating, is it the same as the salad at this other restaurant? So, yeah, if they don't, I might go once, but then usually I just try not to go again if they don't have nutritional facts. When I order wine in a restaurant, I always ask the server how many ounces is actually in this glass. I remember once I was at a casino and I had gone up to the bar to get a glass of wine, and I asked the bartender, how many ounces of wine is in this glass? And he was so surprised. He said, no one has ever asked me that before. And I'm like, really? I mean, I was surprised. I mean, I used to, when I was on Weight Watchers, the number of points that you have is really based on how many ounces of wine that you drink. And, even, and especially now, I want to know exactly how many calories and carbs are in that glass. So, I just can't believe that the bartender wouldn't know how many ounces of wine. Because usually that's standardized. They have rules on how many glasses they should be able to get out of a bottle of wine. And so, it's either 4 ounces or 5 ounces or 6 ounces, whatever. And so because of my tendencies to be anal, I have these glasses that I purchased on Amazon years ago. So I don't know if they're still available now, but I know there are glasses that are similar to these. These have lines on them, 4 ounces, 6 ounces, 8 ounces. So when I'm having wine in my house, I drink it out of these glasses so I know exactly how much it is. Or juice, this is really handy for juice so you can know exactly how many ounces it is. I have a streak going with my MyFitnessPal right now, 72 days in a row that I've logged in. But I've also used MyFitnessPal off and on since about 2011 because I like to cook. I cook a lot. So, when I was on Weight Watchers, when I was doing MetaFast, when I did Paleo, when I did the Whole30, I put all my recipes in there so that I could see the nutritional information, even though on the Whole30 and Paleo, technically you aren't watching calories, but whatever. I would put it in there, even for Weight Watchers, I would put it in there and so that I can convert everything to points. And so I have years and years of recipes stored into MyFitnessPal because that's the other thing I like, is that you can put your recipes in there and see what the nutritional information is. And so right now when I'm trying to decide what I'm going to cook, I scroll through MyFitnessPal and I pick out some recipes in there that I like that have the number of carbs and everything that I'm looking for. Shoot, I don't remember if I mentioned this because I'm still messed up because of the dogs. I can't remember what I talked about. But did I say that another thing that I'm doing is I'm making sure that I have seafood every single week. I love seafood, but I realized one day that it had been months since I had actually prepared any seafood at home. And so just to make sure that I don't worry, just so I don't have to worry about going long periods of time without having seafood, I've just decided that I'm going to have it every single week. And so if you follow me on my Instagram, that's why you see so many seafood pictures, because that is something that I have every single week. Um, I'm kind of lucky, I think, in the fact that my 2 days off every week are actually not consecutive days. I mean, I do hate not having 2 days off in a row, but the benefit is that it makes meal prepping really easy. And so I have Tuesdays and Saturdays off every single week. And so I go grocery shopping on those days. And so on Tuesdays, I prepare my food for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then on Saturdays, I prepare my food for Sunday and Monday. And usually that's my seafood day, so I have it 2 days in a row. Usually having it leftover seafood for 3 days in a row is not really good. So I usually do it for the 2 days in a row. And then on my actual days off, those are days when either I will have, because when I make a recipe, most recipes make 4 or 5 servings. And so I divide up the servings equally. I weigh them. I divide them up equally and put them in containers. And then the servings that I know that I'm not going to be eating that week, I immediately put them in the freezer. Just to make things easy on myself. All the containers that I own are freezer safe and microwave safe, so that they are interchangeable. Actually, they're just all glass containers. That's what I use now. So it's glass containers that are freezer safe. And I just constantly go from the freezer to the refrigerator to the microwave, like every day. That's what I do. So on my days off, I usually have a meal from one of my meals that I have in the freezer, or those are the days that I allow myself to have healthy fast food, like a salad or a burger with lettuce instead of the bun. And I love cooking. Years ago I used to not cook because I was used to cooking for my family growing up. And then, I went to college, and so after college, I'm a single woman. Why should I cook? But the funny thing about all the diets that I've been on, they helped me rediscover my love of cooking and my love of good food. And so, I go to the farmer's market because I have a really nice one that's close to me. I buy pretty much all organic meat that I eat, and organic fruits and vegetables. And I like to take the time to prepare really good, healthy meals for myself. Even when I was gaining weight, I was still eating healthy meals, but then the problem was that in between my healthy meals, I was eating snacks and other things that I shouldn't have been eating, and that's what was increasing my calorie count. But I basically have been cooking and preparing healthy meals for many years now. And so that is just something that I enjoy doing a lot, and something that I will continue doing. Okay, now that I'm rambling on, the other thing that I wanted to talk about is my physical activity. When I first started all of this, my goal was 3,000 steps a day, and then the next month it was 3,200 steps a day, and this is really just because of my injuries. It makes it really hard for me to walk very much without being in pain. So about 4 weeks ago, I went and I had a steroid shot, and for weeks, the shot just everything was worse. I was in so much more pain. But then, just a few days ago, I realized that the pain was gone. Probably about 95% of the pain is gone. And so now I no longer have any excuses. Oh, okay, so now I need to increase my steps. And, I follow Watch Kitties Shrink on Instagram, and I think just yesterday she had 16,000 steps. I mean, she keeps posting these 11,000 step days and 15,000 step days, and she's pre-surgery. So if Kitty can do it, I can do it. I mean, I'm not going to try to do 10,000 or 11,000 steps, but I can at least increase my steps to 5,000 for this month. And so that is my goal. I also had been doing just a little bit of strength training and working out with my Wii Plus, and so I'm going to increase that. My doctor's office said they want you to have 150 minutes of physical activity a week. I'm going to try to do that. We'll see. I've never actually paid attention to how much I've been doing. I've just been doing it. So yeah, I'll start trying to pay attention. I'll see if I can get up to 150 minutes a week. I think that's all I need to say on my food. So the other thing I wanted to quickly talk about is rewards. So the last time that I lost a significant amount of weight on Medifast, I bought myself a Pandora bracelet, and for about every 10 pounds, it really was like every, I don't know what they're called, decades of weight loss. So I started Medifast at 275 or 276. And Lunesta, please calm down. I don't know if you can, I'm going to put it down a little bit so you can see her when she pops back up on the she pops back up on the couch. The birds are out there. What was I saying? Okay, so 275, 276 on Medifast is when I started. So then when I got to around 265, when I made sure that I was far enough into the 260s that I wasn't going to regain, regain enough weight to fall into the 270s, then I bought myself a charm to celebrate saying goodbye to the 260s. When I was around 255 or so, I bought myself a charm to say goodbye to the 260s. Yeah, whatever. And, I made it into this whole ritual where I would go to a freestanding Pandora store, because I avoid malls. So a freestanding Pandora store, and I would get dressed up, I would put on a little bit of makeup, I would go on a Tuesday so that the store would be mostly empty, and usually I had the clerk to myself, and I would stay in there for 30 or 45 minutes, and we would talk about different charms. We would try, it's like I wouldn't just have a charm in mind. I would have several charms in mind, but then I would choose the charm based on how it looked next to the previous charm. And so I would look forward to this ritual, and I loved it, and it just made, I don't know, it made my losing weight and reaching these milestones even more exciting. And I don't know, now it's bitter when I think about it. Because I just can't believe that I regained all of that weight. I've gained and I've lost weight many times, but that time I was sure, I was positive that I had put all these things in place to make sure that I wasn't going to regain the weight. And yet I still regained the weight. And so, looking at that Pandora bracelet, I don't know. It makes me angry at myself when I look at it. I think about the waste of time and effort, and there's a part of me that doesn't even want to look at that Pandora bracelet again. And but the part of me that's excited about this surgery, the part of me that's sure that this really is going to be the last time, I want to resurrect my Pandora bracelet and give it a new life. And so what I've decided that I'm going to do is remove all of my old charms, and then I'm going to go shopping in my jewelry box for every milestone. And I'm going to put a charm on my bracelet as I achieve, the different milestones. Also, I forgot to mention that when I had 3 big milestones, getting below 250, 220, and then 200. And for those, I bought like a fancier, more expensive Pandora charm to represent completing those milestones. And so I'm going to do that this time. But the problem is that I can't find my Pandora bracelet. I don't know what I did with it. I was so upset and disappointed about regaining the weight that I think I put it somewhere and I can't find it. I don't know where it is. So I am going to continue looking for it. But for now, I wanted to show you, remember I said that I did a blog that I turned into a book? And I believe you can see this. So these are, this is my Pandora bracelet from the past with some of the different charms. And, they're pretty obvious. The reason that I would choose certain charms, like the airplane, was for the airplane seat. But, I'll talk about the charms once again as I complete those milestones when I find my Pandora bracelet. So, what am I doing now to reward myself for completing those milestones? So, this time I started dieting at 287. So, when I reached like 274, I just so happened I was passing by on that same day a Tivana shop. I really like iced tea. I prefer that over using flavoring in my water. I like plain water iced tea. And then also my fiber choice drops that I talked about in my giveaway video. I like those too. So anyway, I bought this container. It has the tea strainer in it, and then this is glass. And so I'm going to use this to make iced tea. And then I don't know what I'm going to do for my next milestone. So when I get to around 265 or 264, and that's really saying something for me. I'm a planner. I like to write things down. I like spreadsheets and stuff like that. And so I've decided that instead of planning out in advance what I'm going to buy, it's going to be spontaneous. And so whatever I'm doing on the day that I hit 250, 265 or 264 or whatever, if I'm out and about, I'm just going to stop and I'm going to buy something, and that's going to be my treat for saying goodbye to the 270s. And I'm going to do that consistently. These are going to be my pre-surgery rewards. I'm going to do something different after my surgery. I'm not sure, and I hope I find my Pandora bracelet by the time I have my surgery. But yeah, that's really all that I wanted to talk about. I do want to quickly mention that this month I have my EGD, and then I also have my echo for the heart murmur that the cardiologist found, and then also to check up again on my blood pressure to make sure that the blood pressure medication is working. So hopefully I don't think I'm going to have any more videos until then. Thank you very much to my old and my new subscribers, and I will get back to you guys in a few weeks. Bye.